Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first Coffee with Alain, the new live show that I'm going to be doing for 2023 to discuss all sorts of things to help you have the best year ever. We're going to talk a lot about safety because that's what I'm all about, enjoying life safety. But we're going to talk about a lot of other things too, different current events. Stay tuned sometime this week. I'm going to talk about something that should not go someplace in your anatomy and how somebody evacuated an entire hospital for doing so. So that'll be coming up too. And a lot of different things that you can't get anywhere else. And we're just going to have some fun. And we're going to share some coffee together. I'm going to have a new coffee mug every day. And today I didn't have a New Year's mug, so I got a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's to you all with a Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse Merry Christmas mug. Now, I'm going to start right now. People are saying, what is it with you and Mickey Mouse and Disney? I've been a fan of Walt Disney since a little kid. I really respect and admire Disney and what he did. And so, yeah, I got a lot of Mickey Mouse and Disney cups, and we got Disney stuff throughout the house. And I've been to Disneyland and Disney World. And this year, 2023, is the 100th anniversary of when Walt and Roy first went to California and started their first studio, Disney Studio, that has grown into what we know of Disney now. And so I'll be talking about Disney and stuff throughout the year and throughout my life because I got some projects there. Want to say hi to Randy. Thanks for joining. Also, I want to say hi to Vidal. Thank you for joining. I appreciate. And I want everybody to go ahead and make comments, suggestions. If you want to ask questions, this is not just my time, it's our time. And if you're watching after that's been live, post comments too, and I'll go back and comment on them or maybe even discuss it the next day. So we can always do that as well. Now, something I wanted to talk about today are goals. A lot of people like to set New Year's resolutions or goals the first of the year. And then there are those that's like, no, I don't do resolution, whatever. The fact is, the beginning of a new year, like today is a great time to assess and go forward to what you're going to do. And actually, you should have been doing it this last week. In this last week, between Christmas and New Year's, I like to look back at what I did in the previous year. What I did in 2021, where I succeeded, where I didn't quite meet my expectations, and start planning on what I want to do for the next year. And then today, the beginning of the new year, I start on those. And some things that are really common for a lot of people, and I recommend, have some goals about your health. Have some goals about your relationships. Have some goals about your job, and have some goals about yourself. I'm going to be doing Coffee with Alain a little bit late on Friday because my annual checkup is Friday at the time I'm going to do this, and that was set up a year ago. I always like to have an annual checkup early in the year. It's part of the health goals for the year. You might have language goals. You're going to learn a language this year. I like to have reading goals. I always set at least 101 books a year. That's my minimum number, and that's the goal for the year. I exceeded that by quite a bit in 2021. I read over 160 books last year, and that's on Kindle. Some of them are audio when I'm driving to different trainings. Most of them are paper books. Set a goal. You don't have to read as much as I do, but I encourage you to set a goal and read some books that are going to enrich in your life and some fun stuff that you just enjoy. What else do you want to do? What are your physical goals? What are your mental goals? What do you want to study? What do you want to learn? How do you want to become better this year? Set some goals, some personal development goals to improve this year. If those martial artists like I am, what are your goals for training? What do you want to learn? Where do you want to go? Maybe you want to go see an event or meet a certain instructor or do something. The Korean Martial Art Festival in Florida is always one of the things that I look forward to every year. Great chance to learn from others, interact with people, and I get to share some of what I know with people. I'm looking at doing some cane this year when I go down there. Okay. What are your goals regarding your business or your job where you work? How do you want to help your company? What do you want to advance to? What do you want to achieve for that company so they'll compensate you better and maybe give you a promotion or a raise or whatever it is that your goal desires. One of mine is developing the Enjoy Life Safely website, membership site. This Coffee with Alain goes with that, and I'll be doing different interviews. I'll be doing special members only broadcasts and developing some coursework, as well as working on some new book projects. So I got a lot of business goals that I'll be working on in 2023. So what are some of yours? If you got some, put it in the comments, share yours and have some other people know about it. That gives you some accountability, and then you have to do it because it's like, oh, I told those people I'm going to do it. I have to. Okay. So that's a good time to get people involved with your goals, people that you can trust. Don't share them with people that aren't going to encourage you. Share them with people that are going to encourage you, support you, and help you achieve them. Okay. So it's a great time to do that, the beginning of the year. And it doesn't mean you don't change or modify or add new ones throughout the year. When you achieve one goal, you got to set something else and go for it. Something might happen and you don't even know about it today, and it's going to happen in the summer, and it's going to change your goals and your path and your direction. And then you go with it and just enjoy it as you're going. So that's just a little bit about some goals, and set goals that stretch yourself, but they are achievable. Okay. And get a little bit of a timeline. You want to read X number of books before the end of the year. You want to be this proficient with a language by the end of the year. You want to achieve this promotion or this pay raise or complete this project by a certain date. Have some timelines and some things that you want that'll help you. And then just go make it happen. Don't get too bogged down with the planning and the setting that you don't just get out there and act on it. Because we can plan and set and say all day long. If we don't take the action steps to actually make it happen, it doesn't really mean anything. So get out there, set some goals, make some great things happen. One of the things I want you to do this year, if you haven't already, is make sure that you take personal responsibility for your safety. Okay? Nobody cares about your safety as much as you do. So you have to take personal responsibility for it. It is up to you to keep yourself safe. And if you're responsible for others, a spouse, children, others that you take care of, you got to take care of their safety too. And you have to take that responsibility. And I'm going to be providing a lot of resources, tips, some of them in this daily Coffee with Alain show on ways to help you increase your safety, keep yourself and others safe, so you can enjoy everything else that life has to offer. But the very first step is taking responsibility for that safety and realizing it is up to you. You are your own first responder. And if you practice safe habits, situational awareness, avoidance, things that I'm going to be talking about and sharing in this and in my other resources, you can actually increase your safety and prevent bad things from happening, or know how to respond if they do. It amazed me one day. It was years ago when I was working on the active shooter response training team was from Safariland. I was one of the instructors. We had a team of us that put those trainings on. And before one of those trainings, they had this forum at the university where we were discussing what the trainings were for and who they were for and what was going on, and letting people know about what the trainings were going to be. And I was there with the captain of the police department, Ben at the time, and he was speaking, and one of the students stood up and said, "What do we need this for? Isn't that your job?" Complete lack of any responsibility for his own safety. Ben told him and replied, a perfect answer, said, "Yes, it's our job. And we are going to get to an incident as quickly as we can. But I want to share things with you to keep you alive until we get there. because that's what it's all about. And that's what active shooter response training and the different safety trainings that I do. It isn't to turn people into law enforcement officers or military personnel. It's to give them the basics so they can keep themselves alive until the professionals get there to handle the situation. And sometimes that means they're going to handle the situation before the professionals get there, because that's just how things work. And an awful lot of good, regular people have stopped bad people because they had the personal responsibility to take care of their own self and those around them. And they did what it was necessary to stop different violent acts. And that's the kind of stuff I teach. But you have to accept that responsibility first. So that was a little safety message today. I like to put those in, put them in most days. Make sure you're enjoying your coffee. If you're not a coffee drinker, enjoy the beverage of your choice. It doesn't really matter, but make sure to enjoy something. Before I go today, wanted to share a couple keys to having a great and successful 2023. These are some things that I want you to incorporate today and every day of the year to make sure you have the best year yet. And the first is stay healthy. You have to take care of your health. I mean, if we don't take care of our body, where are we going to live, right? Your health is all you really have. Okay, so you have to do things to keep yourself healthy. Now, I'm not overboard saying you got to be on a super strict diet and you have to exercise like, an Olympic athlete and such. Everybody knows I like to go out and have a burger once in a while. I mean, some people think all I do is eat burgers. It's not all I eat, but I do like to eat good burgers. I like to eat McDonald's burgers sometimes too, or Burger King or whatever. I like burgers. But then I also, want people to know that I eat really healthy at times too. Thank you much. I appreciate that comment, and I'm glad you like the topics. But we got to take care of ourselves. So if you're going to go have a burger once in a while or indulge in whatever your favorite, unhealthy food is, make sure that you're also balancing it out with eating healthy foods at other times. I like to post the pictures of my burgers on Facebook. And that's why people think I only eat burgers. I don't take the pictures of my carrots and celery and hummus that might be my lunch when I'm sitting at the desk working at home. Or, the oatmeal that I have for breakfast with fresh blueberries. And, I try to eat a lot of really healthy stuff too, so I can indulge in the other stuff. Okay. Make sure you're getting some exercise. Okay. Again, you don't have to exercise like an Olympic athlete, but do what you can do. And I'll be talking more about this later and talking about some different things, but have some regular exercise. Have, a decent diet, be careful of what you're eating. Make sure you're drinking enough water and just keep yourself healthy. I'm going to talk a lot more about this probably on Friday after I go to my annual checkup, because that's something I'm going to encourage you to do too. Happy New Year, Kellen. Appreciate you being here. Okay, so we're going to keep ourselves healthy. The next thing I want you to do to have a great, successful year, your time is valuable, so invest it wisely. And that's why I want to share good stuff with this Coffee with Alain with you. I want it to be informative. I want it to be a little entertaining at times. Like I told you, I got that story coming up. It's a true story about somebody that put something where it shouldn't have gone and had to evacuate a hospital because of it. And we're going to share some crazy stuff like that. And I'm going to give you tips to keep you safe and enjoy life and be successful. Invest your time wisely in stuff that's sort of valuable. Great kickoff. Thank you very much. And I'm hoping I only get better. I'm going to be learning this program, and I'm going to be, being able to incorporate different things, sometimes bringing on guests. I want this to get better all year. So I appreciate that comments. Okay, so we're getting back to your time is wise. You invest your time wisely because your time is valuable. Very important thing. Every day of this year, invest your time wisely. Because when it comes right down to it, we don't know how much time we have left. None of us do. So let's use it wisely and do things that we enjoy, things that help others, things that are productive, and minimize time that we waste and that is not enjoyable, is not productive, and is not helping others. So invest that time wisely. Third thing that I want you to do to have a great 2023 is I want you to be true to yourself and what you really want. Okay. When we're setting the goals, we talked about goals earlier. I hope those goals are set on things that you really want and that are true to yourself. You can't set goals for somebody else or things that don't mean something good in here, or you won't want to pursue it and achieve it, especially those difficult goals. I said you should set goals that stretch yourself. You're not going to want to stretch yourself for things that aren't true to yourself and that aren't important to yourself. So stay true to yourself. Make sure that you're doing and working on things that are important to you. And I hope those things help others as well, because helping others, you'll find when that's important to you, it makes everything a little bit better. And that might sound, ooey, wooey, ah, da, da, but it really is true. And if you look at people that have succeeded and changed the world, they've helped a lot of people doing it. Okay. Fourth thing, to have a great and successful 2023, work on your relationships. Okay. Relationships are key to enjoying life and succeeding. You're not going to enjoy life if you're all by yourself and you don't interact with others. You're not going to succeed if you don't interact with others. So work on those relationships. Okay. And the better your relationships are, the better everything is going to be in your life. And the fifth thing I want you to do, the fifth and last thing that I'm going to talk about today to make sure that you maximize your 2023, enjoy the journey safely. Enjoy what you're doing. Now, some people say, well, I have a crappy job and I can't enjoy this. And, I remember a story I read years and years and years ago. I mean, it might have been in the 80s that I first read it. And I believe it was Tom Hopkins that, I heard it from first. And Tom Hopkins was really big in the 80s. I mean, I think he's still around doing some stuff in the sales and success, but he did a lot of sales training. But one of the stories that I remember of him, he said he was driving through a toll booth, right? And the guy that took his money in the toll booth was so happy and energetic that Tom said he had to turn around and go back and find out what made this guy so happy. Sitting in a toll booth for 8 hours a day, taking money, doing the same thing doesn't sound like the greatest job. Sort of mundane, boring. Wow, who would be happy and thrilled to do something? He went back and talked to that guy, and the guy said, this job pays all my bills and lets me provide for my wonderful family. This job lets me interact with people all day and hopefully be a bright spot in their day. I can give them a smile, a kind word, and hopefully that makes their day better. So why wouldn't I love what I'm doing and love what it's enabling me to provide for my family and do that? I thought, what a great story and what a great lesson of life. Regardless of what we are doing, if it's earning us money and the means to provide for ourselves and others, we should be happy doing it. And if we're not happy doing it, we're going to still do the best we can until we find something else. And I know right now it's difficult for a lot of people. God, we've got the last few years have been pretty crazy, and they're still crazy. Okay. And sometimes we have to do things that maybe we don't enjoy the most, but let's make them the best that we can, because they're enabling us to do other things. They're getting us by until something better happens. And sometimes that's the best we can do, is just get by until something better happens. But let's enjoy that just getting by too, because we need to enjoy all of our time. Okay. And let's do it safely. Enjoy your time and enjoy your journey safely. And, because that's what I'm about. And I'm starting the new website, Enjoy Life Safely. There's going to be a blog. There's going to be a website. There's going to be a special membership portion that we're going to go really deep into Enjoy Life Safely and, doing some really cool stuff with that when it's going. I'm working on those now, and you'll hear about the launch in these coffees with Alain, but we're going to do that. So those are 5 things that I want you to do throughout this year, every day. Okay. Keep your health in mind. Do things to keep yourself healthy. Okay. Invest your time wisely. Be true to yourself and things that are important to you. Work on bettering your relationships and having more and positive relationships, because that'll only bring you better and great things. And then enjoy the journey. Regardless of what you're doing, make it enjoyable. Put your best face on. Put your best foot forward. Put your head up high and enjoy it, and make your 2023 the best year ever. Hello, Lynn. Nice to have you on. Appreciate the comments. And, getting ready to go today. Most of the time I'm going to go 20 or 30 minutes with these Coffee with Alain. If you have questions about safety or success or anything I'm saying, ask the questions. We can get a dialogue going. I'm all happy and, all about that. If you're watching this after it's live, put the questions and stuff in the comments. I'll answer them there in the comments, or I will talk about it the next Coffee with Live, and you can, interact with me live on the next, version of the show. I plan on doing this every day at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. That's the time zone I live in, except days where other appointments, other media, interviews, travel, training, those kind of things get in the way. I'll have to modify the schedule. I'm going to be learning how to do these lives with my cell phone. So like when I'm down at Vegas in the SHOT Show, or I'm on the road or traveling and different things, I can still have a short live broadcast on different days too. But sometimes it won't be at the 8 o'clock just because, life and other engagements and other, things that I have to do. I appreciate that, Lynn. And this is something I've wanted to do, and I've done a little live before, but, this Coffee with Alain is going to go. One last time, Mickey Mouse saying Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Going to have different cups every day, so if nothing else, tune in to see what kind of coffee cup I have. And some of them have interesting stories. Wait till I have the cup on that was the influence of naming my daughter. That's right. I named my daughter after a coffee cup. So you'll get that story one of these days too. Everybody have a fantastic rest of the January 1st, the start of a new year, and hope to see you on the next live shows. And we can have a great time, a fun time, an interesting time, an educational time, and hope to see you next time. So take care. If you had value with this, share it out to other people too, because I'd love to grow this audience and really make this into something that we can all be proud of to be part of. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. Everybody take care. Have a fantastic day. See you tomorrow.